Welcome to this explainer. Right now, we're diving into a mystery that literally plagues millions of us every single night. Why exactly do our bodies and minds turn against us after dark? More importantly, we're going to build a science-backed toolkit to help you finally reclaim your rest. If you've ever found yourself wide awake, just staring at the ceiling with a racing heart, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So let's get right into this very common and honestly isolating feeling. Why does anxiety always feel so much louder in the dark? You know the feeling, right? You're completely fine during the day, making decisions, getting things done, but the second your head hits the pillow, it's like a blaring alarm bell goes off in your brain. A racing heart, an endless loop of thoughts, or even waking up totally breathless. To really get what's happening, we have to look at how our environment actually changes at night.
There's this quote from our sources that just hits the nail on the head. During the day, your mind is a busy restaurant. At night, it's an empty concert hall where anxious thoughts echo. I mean, how perfect is that? During the day, your brain is actively processing a million different things. Work, background noise, conversations. But when you lay down in a dark, silent room, your nervous system is suddenly left on high alert. Without all those daytime distractions, your worries get your undivided attention, just echoing loudly in that empty concert hall of your mind.
19.1%. To put that number into perspective, that represents the estimated percentage of U.S. adults who experienced an anxiety disorder in the past year alone. That is practically 1 in 5 people. I want to highlight this right out of the gate because if you're struggling with this, you are absolutely not alone. Nighttime anxiety is a very real, documented phenomenon that's deeply tied to your circadian rhythm, cortisol levels, and your daily stress.
Section 1. The Nighttime Trap. When sleep becomes the enemy.
Let's define exactly what we're dealing with when nighttime anxiety takes the wheel and disrupts our biological rhythms. For a lot of folks, the mere act of trying to sleep actually becomes the trigger. We call this sleep anxiety. You start dreading bedtime, even when you're completely exhausted. You get into bed and your body instantly tenses up. Then you start doing what experts call sleep math. Calculating exactly how many hours you have left before the alarm goes off. Doing that manually spikes your stress response, causing adrenaline surges right as you're trying to wind down.
But it doesn't just happen as you fall asleep. You might actually drift off perfectly fine only to jolt awake mid-surge with a nocturnal panic attack. This wakes you abruptly with intense fear, sweating, and a pounding heartbeat, and it happens completely out of nowhere, without any obvious context.
Section 2. Anxiety or sleep apnea. Diagnosing the breathless awakening.
It is absolutely terrifying to wake up choking or gasping, so we really need to decipher what's going on here. Can anxiety literally cause you to stop breathing in your sleep? You might naturally assume that you just sort of forgot to breathe, but the biological reality is a lot more nuanced. We need to figure out, is this a mental health condition, like a panic attack altering how you breathe, or is it a physical disorder that's repeatedly stopping your breath altogether?
See, while anxiety definitely activates your fight-or-flight response, which causes that awful feeling of air hunger, hyperventilation, and shallow chest breaths, true prolonged breathing stoppages happen for a different reason. That happens when the airway physically blocks, or the brain fails to send the right breathing signals. That physical blockage is a medical condition called sleep apnea, and it carries some serious health risks if you don't get it treated.
This breakdown brilliantly illustrates the diagnostic split. Anxiety usually involves racing thoughts, stress triggers, and a fast recovery of your normal breathing once you realize you're fully awake. Sleep apnea, on the other hand, comes with loud, chronic snoring, witness pauses in your breathing, dry mouth, morning headaches, and just severe exhaustion the next day. The takeaway here? If someone tells you that you stop breathing in your sleep, that's a physical warning sign, not just a mental one.
Section 3. The Blue Light Thief. The Screen Time Sabotage.
All right, let's move to our next suspect. This is a biological saboteur that most of us willingly bring into our beds every single night. 22%. That is the staggering drop in your brain's melatonin levels just from looking at a screen 2 hours before bed. Melatonin is the crucial hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. But screens emit this short wavelength blue light, which literally tricks your brain into thinking the sun is still shining. You are chemically signaling your brain to stay awake, even while you're desperately trying to force it to sleep.
This data builds a massive, indisputable case against nighttime doom scrolling. Just look at the stark difference here. When you're exposed to blue light, you suppress your melatonin heavily, you add up to half an hour of just lying there trying to fall asleep, and crucially, your memory performance drops by 10 to 20%. But If you simply reduce that screen time, you practically rescue your sleep hormones and dramatically boost your memory the next day.
So why does memory take such a hit? It's because blue light actively fragments the vital slow-wave sleep and REM stages of your night. Slow-wave sleep is the exact time when your brain repairs itself and transfers the day's information from short-term over to long-term memory. By staring at your phone in bed, you're actively preventing this memory consolidation process, which practically guarantees you're going to wake up with brain fog.
Section 4. Behavioral boundaries, setting the stage for calm.
Now that we've identified the main culprits behind our sleep loss, everything from environmental anxiety to sleep apnea to the blue light thief, it is time to prescribe the antidote. Let's walk through some highly effective behavioral boundaries to help you take back your nights. First, set an 8 p.m. screen rule to create a 30 to 60-minute buffer zone of low light before bed. Second, schedule 15 minutes of constructive worry time earlier in the day. Write down your worries and next steps. Literally give your anxiety an appointment so it doesn't interrupt your sleep. Third, turn your clock around to stop yourself from doing that dreadful sleep math. And finally, if you can't sleep after 20 minutes, get out of bed. Do a calm activity in low light until you feel sleepy. You absolutely must protect your mattress as a cue only for sleep, not for tossing and turning.
Section 5. The breathing toolkit, overriding fight or flight.
If you wake up in a panic or just can't wind down, we need a manual override. We're going to walk through 3 specific breathing exercises designed to manually shut off your body's panic response. The first is belly breathing. Place one hand on your chest and the other just above your belly button. Inhale deeply through your nose, making sure only the hand on your belly rises. Exhale slowly. Most of us take really shallow chest breaths when we're stressed out, so actively engaging your diaphragm like this instantly signals physiological safety to your brain.
Next up is box breathing. This is an absolute game changer if your mind is racing. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4, exhale smoothly for 4, and hold on empty for 4. What's so brilliant about this is it gives your racing mind a highly structured rhythm and an invisible square to visualize, which distracts your brain from fixating on your anxieties while actively calming your nervous system.
And for moments of seriously high anxiety, we have the 4-7-8 method. You inhale quietly for 4 seconds, hold it for a long 7 count, and then exhale audibly for a slow 8 count. Because that exhale is twice as long as the inhale, this method acts a lot like a natural tranquilizer. It forces your heart rate to drastically slow down, perfectly priming your body for deep rest. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. What will you remember tomorrow about tonight? Consider how the way you end your evening literally dictates the memories you get to keep the next day. By putting down the phone, identifying the true cause of your awakenings, and relying on these breathing tools, you aren't just surviving the night, you are protecting your mind for the day ahead. Thanks for joining me to decode the mystery of stolen sleep.